Feel my heart, it's beat tight. All my body's breathing, it's just you and me. Feel my heart, it's beat tight. All my body's breathing, it's just you and me. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's
season of CGL.
This is just an absolute treat. These players are so damn good.
The talent on these teams is undeniable. Everybody on every team right now is making plays.
It's going to be an exciting start to the season, and it'll just get better from here on out.
We're about to step to a whole new era of Overwatch esports. So much exciting action is happening here on CGL that you do not want to miss.
Look who's starting it all off. It's Raven. No one necessarily figure out what is the right way to go just yet.
What a nice roll through. It's just gonna solidify everything for Mythos.
Does come back and Arsario gets the mech, but I don't need a mech. I'll kill 4 anyway.
This is just a highlight reel for Arsario right now.
They're making a statement in the EU Masters here.
This patch is still incredibly fresh. There's so much to learn, so much to change about the way we play the game.
NKC, but the shatter is colossal.
Let's get it going.
Trades keep coming through. Lores, you're gonna be able to find these shots true.
Idu on the overclock with 2.
Here comes the Nanoblade immediately goes back like fine skills, slicing and dicing their way through 2, 3, so back and forth.
All right, good evening, everybody. Time to get your weekend started off on the right foot here with CGL. We have a great matchup in the NAGM tier right here. Your returning champions of bigbigbigttarfan600 are taking on tonight. That will be the only time I call them that. From here on out, they'll be known as MMM because I'm not trying that again. Shadow, great to have you alongside me for this one here. I think we have a good game on our hands.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Like for my first game of the season casting to be the previous champion, and also just big bigttarfan600. No need to say the big 3 times. You know, same thing with MMM. These are some great team names. First of all, and I hope the match is just as good.
Great is certainly a way to express it. Certainly a way to express it. But looking back at these two teams last week, they both ended up winning. T-Tarfan won over Roadrunner Gaming Varsity 3-1. MMM actually won last week off of a bye, so they are technically both 1-0, but this is MMM's first game of this season.
Yeah, and I'm sure they probably looked back at what T-Tarfan was doing last week just to sort of get an idea of what's going to happen. And then we just had this patch come out recently. I feel like it was a day or 2 ago. And a lot of changes came through with that, so I'm kind of curious if any of these teams have cooked up any sort of comps with the changes.
Anything that maybe happened a day or 2 ago, I would think we would still be seeing teams sticking to what their guns were. But now that it's been 3 days, 72 hours, that's where you start to see a lot of these teams actually start to make those changes with their compositions to what people are calling meta, what people are calling really strong here. So it's going to be really interesting to see tonight with these two teams, how those changes really affect it here. But Shadow, I believe we know what our first map of the night will be here. I'm posing that as a question because I do not remember.
Okay. Oasis, here we go. It's Oasis. We're saved by the map pool. So we're going to be starting on Oasis tonight.
Thank you, producer Headrammer. And yeah, I mean, Oasis is a great map, in my opinion. Probably one of the more undershadowed control maps in my game because it is overshadowed by so many other maps like a Lijiang, like a Nepal, and even like an Antarctic Peninsula, where you do see a lot of teams favoring that here. But because the map pool is already selected and set, Oasis being the second map of this year, or the season for a lot of these teams, it can be really fun to see because you can play a lot of different stuff out here, especially with how this patch worked. Dive could be strong, Brawl could be strong, Poke could be strong, and Oasis gives you opportunities to play all that.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite part of this map personally, is that you can just have such a wide variety of things that happen on a map-to-map basis, just due to, some of the maps have high grounds, and some of the maps you can just kind of bunker in and just play on the point. We've seen some teams that like to run like that Sim May composition with the Reinhardt even. You can do stuff like that on this map. Or I imagine we'll still continue to see like those diva dives coming through because that character's still pretty strong.
Yeah, absolutely. You bring up May. May, I feel like kind of fell out for a little bit. Now starting to slowly come back in because of Ramatra and Ryan starting to get a lot more play. And you kind of need that if you want to have a good Brawl comp here. But I've seen a lot of different stuff come out here just this week. Like I said, a lot of teams trying stuff out. But I feel like tonight we are finally going to get to see what these teams have been cooking up with this new patch. However, we've been talking about what we expect these teams to play. Why don't we introduce you to them, starting with big TTAR600 here, your returning champions from this tier. Piggles and DJ Ashtray are your DPS line here. Kirsten, your tank again, and Spicy Toast, your support line here. And I recognize a decent amount of these names here. This is a solid core for the returning champs.
Yeah, it's good to see some players returning, as you mentioned before. That's what keeps a team like this really continue winning, is just that consistency and that cohesion. So like you said, I imagine they'll continue to be a strong contender just as they were last year. And then for our other team, MMM, we've got Ruby and Jacob on this DPS line. We got Elijah on that tank, ready on that support line with Storia. And
I
it looks like
recognize.
this team. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, sorry, I was gonna say I recognize some of these players, but a lot of them are sort of new to me. Jacob, I feel like I recognize, but you can always find so many accounts named Jacob. Ruby is definitely one I have seen around, and on the support line, I think I've only recognized Ready here. They're all solid, but it's gonna be really interesting to see how this team plays coming off of that bye last week.
Yeah, definitely. With it being first game of the season and all, especially in higher tiers like this, you like seeing more of those like dive compositions. I feel like those tend to just work out better for the most part. So I wouldn't be surprised if this team has like a really cohesive dive comp. You could even still probably run like a Tracer Sombra and go for people's back lines if you really want to do something like that. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what these teams are going to pick.
Yeah, and that's always a strategy you could see teams do, to try to have their DPS just pester that backline, get that other team's backline completely off their game, and just have your tank kind of roll through the majority of the other team right there and have that strategy work. But I mean, we were talking about it a little bit coming into or before the stream got started here with how good Ash is at the moment, and those buffs to Cassidy as well. It's gonna be interesting to see how they play around with those. But coming out the gates here, Shadow, what do you see here?
Well, we see the classic Tracer Genji coming out from TTARfan. I love the dive comp from TTARfan. It makes total sense to me. I don't quite know what's happening on this other side with the Junker Queen, the Mei, the Venture. You know what? This is an interesting comp. I think I've actually seen something like this before.
Oh, what a TP right there from, I believe that was Piggles. But I mean, the Junker Queen is a tank that I think in the moment is in a really good spot. Not a lot of people are talking about her, but I think she's just in a really, really good spot. Gonna be able to land the knife through there on the Spicy Toast, but Spicy Toast able to get themselves out of some danger there. But it looks like MMM gonna try to control this high ground, but there's too many members on the low ground. Piggles, Kirsten finding two already. Down goes Elijah Stoya, and now the only one left alive is Jacob. It's gonna be a slow, painful death for them there.
And you brought it up there in the mid-fight decks, but basically the team just got really, really split, and you can't do that with a Junker Queen comp. You're playing Queen, you're playing Mei. The whole purpose there is to try and like isolate someone out and just all be together while doing so. When you isolate yourself, you leave yourself open to an anti, you leave yourself open to that Winston Tracer dive, and then that's just it.
Yeah, and I mean, the comp that MMM is running here is kind of all over the place when you really look at a huge anti-nade there. The Suzu doesn't land onto a lot there because that bubble denies him. Piggles already finds ready. Kirsten now getting aggressive. However, you do see some members of Big TTARfan having to back up. Kirsten, though, not going to be able to escape. Piggles going to fall here again. We'll get rid of Elijah, so no tanks on either side. Now you're starting to see these support lines here pick up the slack, find some kills, and MMM just has to fall back yet again.
Yeah, shout out again and Spicy Toast right there. The Brigida just going in, getting a bunch of those final blows once the Winston falls. And it was just a really strong ante, like you said, from again. And then these ults are about to come through for the side of Big TTARfan. This is going to be tough.
Oh, another huge ante comes out. The Suzu, though, going to be able to land it onto a couple more members this time. Nano, though, out on a Kirsten here. Going to be diving in that backline. Tries to find Story. They're not going to be able to. Piggles loses their life, but the Primal Rage coming out here from Kirsten. Going to be able to find one right there. Looking for some more. Trying to push some people towards the edge of the map. Not going to be able to. And just jumping away with their lives here. Already 75% here for TTARfan.
That was a great Nano and Primal combination there from the side of TTARfan, but they need to watch out for this Blizzard coming out from Jacob here shortly.
Yeah, oh, and another huge anti-nade there. Ruby going to be burrowing into that backline right there, trying to get the most pressure they've had on the backline so far. Gets slept. Now you see the ultimates coming out there for MMM. Going to be able to freeze up a couple right there, but getting rid of that support line is the best thing that could have happened there for MMM. However, you still have to deal with this DPS line. Curson trying to do their most. The blade coming out here now from DJ Ashtray, looking for whatever they can. Not going to be able to find anything here. Piggles, they've done their job here. They've gotten this point over to 99%. At this point now, you're just kind of staggering yourself out there, but hey, you do take Jacob with you.
Yeah, that was a really sick kill from Piggles to finish that fight out. I can't believe they got those couple of picks, though. We're seeing Ruby swap onto this Tracer, and it looks like TTarfan's going to try and retake this.
And they're trying to play this fast, which I really like. A huge sleep there onto Elijah. Immediately, Spicy Toast going to be able to take care of them there. And now, MMM, I mean, they might just have to give up this point here. And, oh, you can't lose Ready. Their point's going to be able to get flipped over here just because of how aggressive TTarfan is being here. Ruby falls. You do see Elijah back on the Doomfist, though, but however, point's going to flip.
And that all basically happened because of those picks that Piggles was getting there towards the end that they really had no right getting. Great plays.
Jacob going to be able to escape with their life only for a brief moment. There's the orbital beam coming out from Ready. Damage is going to be scary here, but it doesn't matter. Piggles is just seeming to find kill after kill. The beam means nothing if you're a Tracer. Spicy Toast, DJ Ashtray finding two. Now it's all up to Ruby, but it's going to be a hope and a prayer, and nothing's going to be answered there as Big TTarfan takes our first point.
A great map from TTarfan, honestly. They seem to know exactly when to go aggressive and when to back off and just give up for just a moment. That retake, I can't stress enough how sick that double kill was from Piggles, because just getting that extra pick onto that Mei really just gives the full just go sign for TTarfan to retake.
Absolutely. And I mean, give credit to Pickles as well for just kind of stalling out that point up to 99, finding a couple picks after the team fight was basically already over there. It led to them getting that double kill. It led to MMM being so disjointed that they really had no good response here. But what do you think of the swaps here so far?
I like the pick from the side of TTarfan. This Moira Lucio, it's gonna get a lot of healing. You got the Reaper. It's gonna be just group up and run at the other team as fast as you can.
And I like this kind of strategy here from TTarfan. A little bit better than what MMM was trying to run last time with the Juno and Kiri. I think this is just a little bit better for Jungle Queen. The stability there, just being able to keep up. Suzu already invested there by Ready as they try to keep Elijah up. Elijah, though, going to be able to immediately find some value right there, get rid of Spicy Toast. They will lose out the DJ Ashtray, but still, MMM in control of this fight, but not of the point. Curson gets rid of Storia, and honestly, if you're MMM, you need to back out after that one.
Losing Elijah in that fight was really huge, just because the Queen provides so much to the team when you're just focusing all your efforts onto this comp. And I mean, it's going to be a really tough retake for MMM if they want to try and get this before ults come out.
The knife stuck into Elijah right there, already sent back to the spawn room by, again, DJ Ashtray. And look at what this does here to TTarfan. They want to play aggressive, and MMM just kind of gives up on this fight, saying they will just go next.
And again, that's what I was mentioning before. Now we're about to come up on some ultimates for the side of TTarfan. Probably somewhere in the middle of this fight, I imagine. We'll start to see the ults come out. And then we're seeing a BAP Lucio swap for MMM. They do have the Deadeye available, but I'm not sure how much that's going to really do for you going into this comp.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Maybe they just want to try to have a little bit more stability with that immortality field there from Storia. But the first things first, you cannot get taken out early. Deadeye coming out here from Jacob, but I'm ready. Already taken out. Jacob looking for anyone they can. It's going to end up with nothing in the hell. Both the supports down for MMM already. Jacob still trying to find one, but Piggles going to take care of them. Ruby will finally shut down Kirsten here, but it's going to be another big TTarfan fight win.
And it didn't even cost them anything, so now they're sitting with 5 ults. I have to imagine they're going to just maybe Coalescence and Death Blossom, just blast the Reaper so that you make sure they don't die. You know, there's a variety of things that could definitely happen here. Hopefully MMM has to ult too, though. They don't have really a choice. It's the last fight.
And the biggest thing is, though, with the support swapping as late as they did, they have nothing in this fight. There's the Death Blossom, the Pulse Bomb, everything out on the table here for TTarfan. Already 4 kills down. There's number 5. And that will do it for our first map of the night. Big TTarfan showing us why they were the champions last year.
You can definitely tell how TTarfan managed to win this tier. They seem to just, like I mentioned that cohesion piece earlier, they seem to know what everyone is going to do. There's no hesitation in anything that they do. Nobody's questioning whether I should be doing this or not at this particular moment. No, they know. They're aware. As soon as that hinder came out, boom, you see Kirsten get that nice knife pull, just not missing a thing, and that's tough to deal with when your Junker Queen is just on point like that.
And that was one thing we consistently saw throughout that last map right there. Almost any time we swapped over to any of the MMM players, you would just see the knife sticking out of them. Kirsten was able to land those at will, it seemed. It didn't matter how far they were away, or even if they really had a good angle on them or had a good idea of where someone was. They just threw it, always ended up finding a stick right there. So, I mean, great tank play coming out here from TTAR here early, but I mean, MMM, on the other hand, they really struggled, and we could talk about some swaps there about midway through that second point. First point, though, they did win a team fight, get control of the point, but they, because of a huge play there by Pickles, they were so disjointed that they never really had another true team fight after that. What do they need to do going into our second map?
Honestly, they just need to figure out what they want to do as a team. It feels like everybody has a different idea. That cohesion piece I just mentioned with TTAR, I'm seeing the exact opposite come out of MMM, where we're seeing them drop off a high ground and the other half of the team is still walking in as if the front half didn't drop off of that high ground just now. So like you gotta get that cohesion piece together, and once that happens, you'll start seeing those crazy plays come out, like what TTAR is doing, because you just have to have that full confidence in what you're doing. It's like, hey, even if this is the wrong play, 5 of us are about to try and make the wrong play the right play.
Yeah, and that was we saw that a little bit on the first point with how MMM came out of the gates. It seemed like they were kind of in between, wanting to run a couple different comps. Their support line said rush, their tank or their DPS line said brawl, their tank. I understand that their tank is probably in the middle of those two kind of styles, but they didn't really work really well there together, and it really took a huge ult fight for them to win anything on that first point. We never saw that on the second point because, like we talked about, the swaps there with that support line. So definitely something they need to work on here going into the second map of the night. And I mean, we have to bring this up again. MMM, this is their first game of this season. They had a bye last week. So big TTAR fan, you have to imagine they had a match last week, went up against Roadrunner Varsity there, did drop a map, so they are showing they are vulnerable here, but they probably did learn a lot last week.
And I mean, that's another piece of it. With this being MMM's first game of the season, you got to work out those kinks and whatnot as well. You know, any new players that you're having from the team that you had last year, synergy's got to get built up, because there's a big difference between playing scrims and playing matches. Like, the synergies are totally different between those two.
Absolutely, but it does sound like we have some subs coming in here for, I believe, both sides, actually. So for big TTARfan600, you have again coming, or I think they're swapping over to the DPS line, and Nyla coming in on the support line for them here. So, I mean, Shadow, what do you think about this? You have one of the supports swapping over to DPS here. You have someone new coming in. What do you think about this move?
My thinking is maybe a hit scan player, because I don't think I saw either DPS playing that hit scan role in the last map, and we're going to, if I recall correctly, King's Row, where you're more likely to play something like a Cass, an Ashe, something to that effect. So maybe that's what they're going for here. And then Nyla's just coming in due to the fact that they need a different support as well. That would be my guess.
Yeah. I think that's the main reason as well why the Nyla is coming in. But on the other side, for MMM, you are having one sub coming in there. Aunt Helen, or Halion, Ant coming in here for Storia on the support line. And I mean, Storia did, I think, the best they could last round. Maybe this is just, you want to get some people in, get them their reps here early on in the season so they can just try to, work these comps together, work these team lineups together, work the comps out, and try to, just buff out all the, scratches here early on.
Well, and just based on what we saw at the beginning of the map, Storia was not initially playing Lucio. Maybe this is the person who's like, I just play Lucio. I'm that kid that just plays Lucio. I wall ride super well. I get kills and frag out on. That's all that I do is play Lucio. I got 3,000 hours on Lucio. Maybe that's what this is as well.
Yeah, hello, Frogger. But I mean, it sounds like we are. It sounds like we are about to head in to our second map here of the night, which is King's Row here. And I mean, Shadow, just coming into it, you always had to expect brawl, but we have started to see that kind of shift away here. But I mean, now that we see what the teams are picking, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah, makes total sense to me. I'm really curious how the Moira Juno is going to work. I don't think I've seen this combination of heroes just yet. Makes sense though, because you're still going to get the speed boost, and I imagine Nyla's just going to pew pew do damage, that type of thing.
I mean, yeah, it's a very interesting comp here, especially for a brawl style on defense, because normally you do see something like that Ana that they did really well on the first map come out here, and even maybe the Brig or BAP come out here because you're playing defense. But look at MMF.
Yeah, that's a interesting combination of heroes I'm seeing right now. I don't believe it until the door opens, so we'll just have to see. It looks like they're going to swap to Ram though, so yeah, troll pick.
I was gonna say I liked Ruby sticking on the Widow there for a moment. If they would have came out with it, I would have still liked it a little bit here. Widow can open up a lot on this map. I like how Big bigttarfan is playing this. They want to try to section them off here. The ice wall from again, not gonna be able to land perfectly there. Jacob's ice wall a little bit better, but there's the pressure and damage coming out from Big bigttarfan here. Gonna be a little bit better. Piggles already finding the Piggles still picking up right where they left off.
Absolutely great pick from Piggles, and there was also almost another kill that came out there from Piggles before that ice wall, and we're seeing Elijah opt for this Junker Queen swap. I imagine it's going to be hard for them to stay alive on the Queen. You don't have that survivability. Never mind. What do I know?
I mean, finding the value almost immediately right there. The knife pull got, again, into Ruby's sightline right there. Huge early pick now. You got Nyla out. This is exactly the start that MMM was looking for after the struggle that was the first fight and the whole first map. They're getting rid of everyone here for bigttarfan, and this might lead to a first point cap.
It certainly is looking to be that way. This Moira, though, it just has this escapability right now. Got to put him in the corner. There we go. Notice Anthalin got like 2 or 3 kills at final blows in that fight. I'm telling you, this is the Lucio player for this team.
I mean, hey, sometimes Reddit Lucio does work if the other team cannot shut down. But look at bigttarfan making swaps already, wanting to mirror the Junker Queen here. And I think this is a really good thing to do. Kirsten looked incredible on it last map, and they almost kind of controlled that entire second point for them.
And this will be a good fight to try it out, too, because you got the Blizzard, but Elijah does get the pick.
Blizzard coming from the other side, though. Not going to be able to freeze up anyone. Jacob gets frozen up instead. Pulse Bomb does find one, and now it seems like bigttarfan going to be able to bounce back from that one little mistake they had there that led to MMM capping the first point. They're going to be able to hold at Arches now.
And this is a really strong point to hold, especially when you've got a Mei on your side. So MMM does have the ults to pop through this, though. You got double support ults, and you have the Deadeye available. I imagine they're just going to pop Cole, maybe pop Beat, and just run.
Kirsten, that's a play right there from them. The speed ring comes out, not going to be able to save them. The Coalescence going to be the first thing out the bag here for MMM, trying to get rid of Nyla. Nyla in a really bad spot, trying to get healed up, but Ruby going to be able to take care of them there. And already, that's kind of just a fight win here for them.
Great fight win for the side of MMM. Like you said, Kirsten just kind of got caught out there. Not really too much they could have done. And you do manage to save the sound barrier if you're the side of MMM, which is going to be useful for trying to fight into this orbital ray.
Yeah, and I mean, bigttarfan needs something this fight here. The orbital ray is going to be the only thing that's really ready here early on. But Deadeye going to be the first thing used. Nice ice wall there from again. But you see MMM just try to walk them through it. Ruby, though, they have the opportunity, but nothing's going to come from it. Orbital ray not going to be able to find a lot of value here just yet. Piggles does find one. The Rampage came out from Elijah, but I think it whiffed on everyone. Kirsten comes out, hits 3. The beat, though, from Ant going to be able to keep him up just for a little bit, but it's only going to prolong their existence there.
It was an expensive fight for the side of bigttarfan, but totally worth it. That's like one of the hardest points where the card is right now. That is one of the hardest points to finish up unless you manage to build an entire round of ults and just ult dump, which is a possibility because we got 3 minutes here on the clock. But it wasn't that expensive for them. And again, has this Blizzard again. And Spicy Toast about to have the sound barrier up as well. Like, there's a lot going good here for bigttarfan.
Jacob almost has the Blizzard up 2, and we saw what happened last time they both used it. Jacob really didn't find any value. Again, did find one, but they weren't able to confirm the kill here. Nice ice wall there by Jacob to keep Kirsten away from their team. Pulse bomb out, not going to be able to find anyone. Piggles has to try to keep themselves up. Blizzards out from both sides will lead to the death of both tanks here, but hey, it's MMM on the rampage right now. Jacob with, I believe, 2 or 3 already this fight, and it's up to Spicy Toast to try to hold on to this point. Instead, it looks like they just want to try to get out with their life. Ready, though, not going to allow that.
Great fight win for the side of MMM. This pretty much is going to guarantee you second point, and you didn't even have to use your Blizzard to get it. So this next corner is going to be really tough to get past, so you're happy to have your Blizzard, and just as long as Spicy Toast doesn't have too good of a sound barrier.
Yeah, that sound barrier is going to have to get them out of a really sticky situation here, as well as the amp up speed. But you see Jacob throwing it out right there. Ice wall out from again. Going to be able to make sure no one really gets a lot of value from that Blizzard. Jacob's Blizzard, again, just kind of goes silent right there, not finding anyone. Piggles making a swap over to the Venture, only for a brief moment there before they get sent back to the spawn. And, I mean, T-Tarfan, they looked really strong last map, but it seems like MMM is learning from their mistakes.
Well, you know, it definitely helps when you got Ruby hitting all these shots right now, landing that magnetic grenade or flashbang, whatever it is at this point. And getting that extra damage out.
It's just a grenade at this point. It does 75 damage. It's a grenade at this point. Nice knife there from Elijah to get Kirsten off that high ground. Forces the rest of T-Tarfan down. Beat coming out from Spice Toast. Only going to land on the 3. Deadeye now looking for whatever value they can get here. Not going to be able to find Piggles. The skull was there, but Piggles with 2. Spice Toast going to be able to get rid of Elijah. Now, though, MMM, they're just looking for the exit here, and I don't know. Oh, I'm ready. Not going to be able to escape. Jacob try and gets the small health pack right there, but Kirsten going to be able to run them down.
Oh, Jacob almost got away right there. That wall on Ready was kind of tough to watch as well. But now you're looking at Big T-Tarfan having 4 of their ultimates available with Rampage. You got Blizzard. You got Kitsune Rush, and not much for the other side here. You might just want to retreat.
Yeah, especially with the Kitsune Rush coming out there, that is what MMM is going to decide to do right here. Not wanting to lose anyone early. I like this from MMM. They're kind of learning because we saw this happen last map where T-Tarfan would use ultimates, but MMM just could not escape.
Yeah, they're doing a much better job of that now. Now they have their Lucio player in. Ruby with the nice pick on again, though.
Elijah going to find one right there. Everything coming out for MMM. Their 3 ultimates out of the bag right now. Rampage coming out from Kirsten will land on the 3, but the follow-up just not going to be there for their team as most of their damage dealers are already dead and gone. Ruby going to be able to find Kirsten right there. Elijah gets rid of Spicy Toast. Now you're starting to see those DPS come back, but they really just need to fall back here so they can potentially get a touch. Piggles going to come out here. Ice Wall needs to come down. Blizzard, though, out from again, who will lose their life. Now it's up to those 2 on point. You do see the Doomfist come back out here for Kirsten, just trying to stall out, but Ruby, Elijah finding what they need to do here. Kirsten trying to do their best, but their best is just not good enough this time around. MMM, a great bounce back from last map. Almost a minute in that time bank.
Yeah, I mean, you can't ask for much more when you're on King's Row or any hybrid map for that matter. Finish the map and with time. Pretty good round there for the side of MMM, all honesty. I thought they might have blown too many ults in that fight prior to finishing the map out, but they ended up avoiding the blizzard super well. Both these Lucios are doing a good job of getting their teams out of these blizzards before people get frozen.
Yeah, both these teams, you hit it right there. Completely correct. The Lucios are doing a good job getting their teams out, but we also just have to say the Maze are doing a terrible job actually utilizing the blizzards. I believe we've only seen maybe 2 or 3 people frozen up through about 5 or 6 blizzards. That's a problem. That the blizzard is supposed to be one of the most pivotal ultimates in the game at any time, but yet they're kind of just like being thrown out there like it's just a normal ability by these 2 Maze. They're not finding a lot of value with them here. But now, if you're a T-Tar fan, I think you did not expect that from MMM. MMM, you have to be feeling really good about yourself. What does T-Tar fan need to do here?
Really, the T-Tar fan just needs to calm down, take these fights slow, and just really start isolating out more of these players from MMM anytime they just walk out of line. Because the big thing that I think was really making them struggle in the last round was just the fact that they were getting those early picks onto, like, Kirsten got caught out a couple of times. That was a nice shot, though. Didn't get a pick, but that was a nice shot. Kirsten got caught out a couple of times. There were just random players getting caught out. As long as that doesn't happen, you still probably have a good chance of winning this map.
Yeah, I like Pickles going over to the vent or to the soldier instead. They want to get up to the high ground. Ruby immediately has to dive off it themselves here to keep themselves up. Shout coming out from Elijah to provide a little bit of shields here. As T-Tarfan just comes straight through the choke right there and gonna go straight for the high ground here. It's gonna be really interesting to see how MMM deals with this.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how T-Tarfan, I imagine they're just going to drop back here and try and force this fight behind Hotel.
And that's exactly what they do. And I mean, MMM is going to allow that to happen. Ice Wall's coming out from both sides right there. Again, though, might find a little bit more value here as you see everyone there and MMM just falling back, but now both down. However, Elijah could be the first to fall there. The railgun from Piggles find them. Kirsten trying to throw some punches, find anyone they can. But, I mean, they basically flipped the map at this point. They are sending MMM back towards the attacker spawn here, and they're just finding all the picks.
Honestly, just great positioning, great rotation from the side of T-Tarfan. And this is them. They sat up. They sat upright. You know, they leaned forward in their chairs for this round. They're like, we got to use all of our brain power now. You forced this out of us, MMM. This is what has to happen.
I mean, that might be a scary thing here, but I mean, they cap the point, 5 minutes on the time bank, and I like what they're doing. It's what you see a lot of the offensive teams do here. Just push up through arches, leave one person back. And honestly, I think Piggles being the person back is the right move here.
I mean, yeah, that's the person who can do the most damage from the furthest away, so it makes perfect sense to me. They can get back to the team the quickest. Both Maywalls come out, don't get too much there, so not too concerned.
And I love how Kirsten's playing this corner right here now. The Nemesis form out. They want to play aggressive. The Kitsune Rush out as well. The May, no ice block. Going to be able to ice wall themselves up as Umready pops that Coalescence. The Blizzard out as well. Again, freezes no one. Again, throws out their Blizzard, going to be able to find 2 this time, and they will lead to 2 kills right there. T-Tarfan now pushing that cart through the streets here while finding the picks they need to.
Great ult usage there from the side of T-Tarfan. Like I said, you could tell they're leaning forward. Like the timing of that Kitsune Rush, the timing of the speed boost, the Blizzard, all of it just perfectly on point. And you got the Annihilation coming into this next fight. MMM is going to have a sound barrier for it, but T-Tarfan's going to need to try and just shoot through that as much as they can before Elijah pops off with this ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, Nyla is there. They could cleanse them almost immediately. The shout coming out early. There's the Rampage. Only 3 members hit, but they're going to be able to cleanse 2 right there. Piggles pops the overclock. Ruby's going to be able to take care of them here. Kirsten, I mean, that beat's gone. You pop the Annihilation. Now you might be able to win this team fight, but with 3 members of your team down, you're just holding on to it this time around. And just a good fight here by MMM to stop them at what is a very, very difficult point to retake.
Yeah, it is a very difficult spot to retake, but we just witnessed MMM come right back and take it. So I see no reason to believe why T-Tar wouldn't be able to. The ults aren't necessarily in their favor because you got tank passive Bob available here for Ruby. And then you got Annihilation for Kirsten. So yeah, we'll see. It's pretty even, this fight, honestly.
Yeah, especially because those are really the only 2 ultimates. The Bob coming out there from Ruby is going to be placed on that high ground. Look, it doesn't really matter. The Bob is not going to make the difference this fight, but you do see MMM finding what they need to find there, and it's going to result in T-Tarfan just backing up yet again.
Great fight for the side of MMM, just really definitively winning that fight. And now, because you did that, Jacob is 30% ahead of again on this ult charge. And if Jacob can land a couple of icicles, they might manage to get their ult before this sound barrier is available. Maybe we can finally see a really good Blizzard come out. You know, we've been mentioning how good those Lucio speeds are, but yeah.
I think if you're a T-Tar fan, though, you just need to engage with the Annihilation here. You need to go in fast because you know you have an ultimate advantage. Suzu, though, going to be invested early. The Blizzard about to be online. Jacob going to definitely have it here now, but the Kitsune Rush out. Blizzard now out as well. That Rush going to be able to get everyone out beat, though. Going to be able to go on to everyone here. Only 1 person frozen up through all that Piggles, though. They stay alive. The Coalescence not going to be able to find anything there, and even though it seemed like MMM might have had the opportunity to find a big Blizzard, it's yet again another poor showing.
Telling you, like, it's hard to track when that Lucio has amp available. You know, that's a hard ability to keep track of. If amp is available, everyone can get out of that Blizzard. It's a tough thing to deal with. Elijah does have this Rampage about to come online, though. That could prove big time unless Pickles does that.
And Piggles kind of picking up right where they left off that first map. They start off really good. Now the Rampage comes out, gets denied by an Ice Wall. You still do hit 2 people though. Piggles, 1 HP and a Dream, gonna be able to keep themselves up. Now you see the swap from Ready, gonna be able to land that anti there onto Kirsten. However, most of their team is dead. Piggles now popping off with that overclock, gonna be able to find one. Ruby looking for the angle, not gonna be able to find anything. Desperation time here for MMM. The swaps coming out. You see the Doomfist. Piggles tries to find Ruby. They're going to be able to shoot that railgun through the head right there. Now, sight set on the Ant. Going to be able to find them after they use their beat. TTarfan just looking to clean up this fight here fast, give themselves a good and healthy time bank, and they're going to do just that over 1 minute and 20 seconds better.
Like I said, TTarfan came out. They were like, okay, we got to get a little bit serious here. Let's turn up the heat a little bit on this round, see if we can really invest in just that full all-out speed blitzing like we were doing on Oasis, and they've done a really good job of it so far. A minute's not that much time, especially to try and cap a full control point on King's Row. So, yeah, it's going to be tough for MMM. They're going to have to win this first fight just very handily, very quickly if they want to have a chance of continuing to win this map.
Yeah, and you have to go back and look at their first round, where they kind of struggled out of the gate before making the swaps over to that Junker Queen that works so well for Elijah. And I kind of think that's what they need to do here. They need to keep with the Junker Queen. That's not a Junker Queen.
Well, you know, if I recall correctly, Orissa's the spinny spear went down by 2 seconds. So you know, Orissa got a micro buff.
Spear went down to 2 seconds. The speed reduction went down as well when you're fortified. So, I mean, Orissa got a pretty sizable buff.
Yeah, so it could prove useful here for sure. You can stop from getting frozen, you know, if you needed another way for that to not happen as well, you know.
Ruby looking for the shot there. No one on TTarfan, though, going to make the mistake of poking their head out too far. And this is a very interesting comp here for MMM. I do like it because if you do land the ice wall onto someone like Kirsten, you're not going to be able to escape. But Elijah, going to be able to keep themselves up right there. Ant with a lot of help, but Ruby, same cannot be said for them. They get taken out right there. Piggles on that off angle as MMM tries to back up, taking them out there. A huge ice wall from Jacob traps their own team in their own death room.
It's going to be tough. Like, I love the Mei Bastion as a concept, but if you're going to play the Bastion, you have to play Protect Mr. President, right? That's the only way you can play Bastion and have it be successful. All your resources got to go into this Bastion and make sure that it's doing as much damage as humanly possible.
And I mean, yeah, absolutely. But MMM, they need to get a touch here. Going to be able to do that nice javelin there from Elijah, just knocking away Piggles there for a moment. However, overtime has commenced here. MMM needs to win this fight. Hell, they need to stay on point. They have the opportunity to keep it going. Kirsten had to fall back a little bit just to get healed up, but now looking a little bit worse for wear. Nemesis form back online, though, going to be able to get that going. Piggles, though, does find Jacob. That might be the beginning of the end of this round for MMM, but Ruby, they immediately find one right back. You see Kirsten trying to focus in on them, but Kirsten a little bit too aggressive there, will get caught out. Considering much out here from Nyla as Big TTarfan wants to try to make sure they do not get even a single tick here, but that dream is long gone, and honestly, this first point might be gone as well.
Oh, that could be. Yeah, it's looking like first point's going to go down. I was thinking for a second that would have been a terrible pick for Elijah to go down there, but it ended up not being too impactful. And we're seeing Kirsten opt to swap onto that Orissa as well.
It's really interesting that you want to mirror that here, but with only really needing to win one team fight, again, having that Blizzard online, I mean, we've been talking about waiting to see a good Blizzard. It might be the time.
This could be a time that it gets eaten as well, because that's also a possibility now. That's on the board.
The ice wall coming out there, almost trying to just deny them from even getting a touch, but just gets caught up there. Piggles going to be first one taken out of this fight. Blizzard thrown out there. It's in a very good spot on card. The only person who can really stay in there is Elijah, but the Blizzard comes and goes. No one gets frozen up again. Count as like Blizzard number 7 that really finds no value. Instead, it's going to be MMM finding everything they need there to continue the push.
And they managed to hold on to their sound barrier and Kitsune rush. So this next fight, if MMM loses this next fight, it's like there has to be some crazy play made from TTarfan. MMM has pretty much every advantage possible for this next fight to cap second.
Yeah, I mean, look at MMM. They have everything they really need here to easily win this team fight. They could play aggressive as hell at the moment. They could Kitsune rush in, force TTarfan to just either back up or engage into a fight that they know they will not win. But that's exactly what they're going to do here. Kitsune rush out. You see almost every movement ability or passive ability to keep themselves alive out as well. Railgun here from Piggles needs to be able to find something, but with already 2 make it, 3 members down for big TTarfan, you might just have to sacrifice this second point.
I mean, great job from MMM. You had the advantage. You popped the ultimates to make sure you cap second. That's big time. Big time to get through 2 points. And we're seeing Spicy Toast opt to swap onto this Zenyatta as well. Maybe to just try and burn down this Orisa a little bit faster. I mean, or this Bastion for that matter. We are going to see the Bastion artillery strike be available as well. And oh my goodness, the Kitsune rush is probably going to come out from Nyla.
They might hold on to it here for a moment, but hey, you found your advantage. I think you go now. Nyla finds a pick out there as well. Kitsune Rush out on the playing field, and this should finally do it here for big TTarfan. They're able to stop the bleeding, but 2 points capped and 25 meters in for MMM. That is not what TTarfan wanted, especially after that great offensive round they had.
Great round from MMM. It looked so bad for the first minute. For the first minute of that fight. It looked so bad. But eventually just being able to, I always make the joke that all you do on Orisa is just exist really hard. Just existing as hard as you possibly can and not dying on this Orisa ended up being exactly what MMM needed. Just Orisa staying alive long enough for Ruby to start getting those picks on that Bastion. That was really all that ended up being needed. And you see, again, TTarfan, Kirsten opting to play that Orisa as well, so they must see something in it also.
And it's interesting to see Kirsten coming out here on the Orisa. I think you could start off with a bunch of different options right now. It's something that you're more comfortable with here a little bit, but it seems like they really just want to try to mirror whatever Elijah's playing so far tonight, because that's kind of been how it's been going there. I like the Ramatra pick a little bit better into... Never mind. Okay. Shadow, go.
Well, okay. It's looking like we're going to have a... Ooh, I like this. I like the Ana Juno. The Ana Juno is really strong because you just get the speed boost on top of the anti. So you just anti somebody and run at them as fast as you can with this speed ring. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this combination.
And MMM going to allow TTarfan just to get through the choke right there. Good play by them. Icewall going to trap Kirsten in there for a brief moment, but really no damage. Going to follow up on it. Kirsten, though, pokes their head out, and Ruby just melts them down. I feel like there's a little bit of a mistake there from the tank on TTarfan's side.
It's tough to know when you can and when you can't go with the Bastion. That's really what makes it so difficult. If you take a slight step out of line, you're just instantly dead. And we're seeing Spicy Toast instantly swapping to this Zenyatta. They're probably just looking for, like I said, those discords to go out onto a target and them just die like that.
Well, I mean, hey, Piggles opened up the fight really before it even got started there. Jacob taken out here early. Icewall going to completely stop Elijah in their track. Or Healing Orb thrown onto their counterpart there of Nyla. But, I mean, TTarfan getting rid of just Jacob right there really did open up a lot of opportunities for them. No Icewall for MMM. And it seems like MMM might take first point. I think with Ready falling there, you just let them take first point.
Yeah, absolutely. You just back up. Let what's happening happen. You're not going to get any ults out because, again, getting the nice pick onto Ruby and also on the high ground already.
And we saw this last time TTarfan was attacking. They wanted to play aggressive. They want to make sure that MMM cannot hold them at archers. But because of those last couple picks right there, they had the far spawns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be really tough for MMM to recontest this point before at least this first corner, if not the second one.
And we
like
saw
you said, do those spawns.
Yeah, and we saw how good Kirsten was the last offensive round with just playing the corners here, forcing MMM to engage in them in points where they really didn't want to. But MMM does have these ultimates ready to go here, and a lot of them, to be honest. I mean, this is a point where you could lose a fight if you are big TTarfan, but as this fight goes on longer and longer, you really cannot afford to lose here. MMM, though, 3-4 ultimates about to be online. Piggles going to start off with the the overclock though. Now you're seeing everything come out from MMM, Transcends from Spice Toes, Blizzard from again, the beat from Ant, everything out on the playing field for these sides. Big T-Tarfan, they need to win this fight. They need to find the first pick. Kirsten gonna be able to get rid of Ruby, the Blizzard though from Jacob, gonna be able to find value almost immediately right there. Nyla with 2, ready with the third. Again, no ice block around to save them, and MMM getting the bounce back they were looking for.
Great map win from MMM. It really did come down to just them getting that massive ult advantage in overtime and just being able to push through second. Second is so hard to not at least lose one fight on, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, both these teams got stuck at this point, and both their first 2 times around. MMM being able to push through it with it. Remember, in overtime, a lot like Big T-Tarfan as well, but they had so much less time. Able to push through that second point was so pivotal for them. And I mean, T-Tarfan in that first round of overtime where they were on the defensive side fell into the same little mistakes that MMM fell into on the second point of Oasis, where they were making swaps very late in fights, in rounds, and they just left themselves with such a huge ult disadvantage there. They were finally able to stop them, but it was really a little bit too far for what a minute time bank should get you.
Most definitely. And I mean, at the end of the day, just really strong play from MMM, forcing the swaps, like we were saying. You know, who would have? I didn't think I was seeing Bastion Orisa today. I was not predicting that combination of heroes, but here we are, and it worked out in MMM's favor. And now, what in the world are we going to see on Throne of Anubis? Like, your guess is as good as mine. I've seen a ton of Bastion, like in my personal gameplay, but you know, I guess we'll see.
Bastion would be an interesting pick. I think Clash a lot like Flashpoint. You want to play quicker characters, but I could see the Bastion finding the value there. But I think with that being the end of our second map, we are going to throw it to a quick break. So everyone, stick around. You're not going to want to miss the back half of this series because, man, is it exciting. We will be right back.
Water is the softest and most yielding substance, yet nothing is better than water for overcoming the hard and rigid, because nothing can compete with it. Lao Tzu.
Name straight, new wave. Name straight, wave. Name straight, new wave.
All right. All
right.
right. Welcome back, everybody. MMM able to even up the score at 1 after King's Row right there. And I mean, Shadow, we talked about during the break right there. We really
Mhm.
did not expect that from them, but they did prove us wrong.
They absolutely did complete 180 from map 1 on Oasis. And you love to see a competitive series, especially against the team that is going to be the favorite here in T-Tar fan. But we're going to be going to the Clash map, Throne of Anubis, here on this next point. And I imagine we have to favor T-Tar fan again. We saw them do really well on a control map, and Clash is kind of just like control with extra steps.
Yeah, Clash is control with extra steps. And then, as you see, map 4 is also control with extra steps.
Yeah, so I mean, at this point, I think we should favor T-Tar, from what I've seen so far on these next two. We'll see though. We'll see though. Maybe MMM figured something out and they'll be able to play in these enclosed spaces a lot better. We'll just have to see.
That's what That's what I was gonna say. It seemed like MMM did really figure something out about T-Tar fan here. And coming over into Throne of Anubis, I think they just need to show us a little bit more than what they showed us on Oasis. And this series might be wide open at this point. I mean, this is a best of
Mhm.
3 now. Whoever wins the 2 maps wins the series here. But
Mhm.
while we talk about maps and who we expect to play, it sounds like we do have a sub here on the side of big T-Tar fan and DJ Ashtray coming back in for again, who are for again here.
Yes.
Who remember again started off as the support, went over to that DPS last round. DJ Ashtray
Mhm.
though was that other was the counterpart there to Piggles on the first map here for T-Tar fan, and I think they did a great job. I understand why they made that swap there, but bringing them back in might be the right move here for T-Tar fan.
Well, it makes me think that they're not going to play May because again was playing May that entire map on Kings Row. So I have to imagine that T-Tar fan is thinking about running that dive comp again that we were seeing on map number 1, or maybe even the Speed Queen with some. So this exact comp that we're looking at on screen right now, maybe they're going to play that.
I think DJ Ashtray did play May for a little bit on their first point of Oasis before swapping off to some other stuff like the Tracer and like the Genji, and the Reaper, especially on the second point. So it's gonna be really interesting to see. But it sounds like we will be heading into our third map of this series here tonight. And I mean, coming out of the gate, Diva here for Tarfan, which is kind of what we expect for this game mode.
Makes total sense, honestly. MMM looking like they're going to opt for the Orisa again. That also makes sense. We saw them have some really good success on that. It's going to be a lot tougher, though, going into the Diva. Diva can deny a lot of what Orisa's trying to do. So I'm going to be curious how Elijah plays into this.
Okay. Pickles with the sim almost pulled out the Torb there for a moment, but Torb Tracer right next to each other. That would have been fun. It looks like we might be getting a pause for Ping potentially, but it seems like we are still going at the moment. I do like this pick for DJ Ashtray, though, especially going into Elijah on that Orisa. Just allows him to get so much value, so much self-healing off of just the Centaur right there as well. But it seems like they're trying to focus in on that backline. But MMM playing incredibly aggressive here, just walking straight through the point, trying to get in the backline. Jacob could be the first casualty, followed by their sidekick on that DPS line. And this is not the start that MMM was looking for.
No, not at all. Like I said before, just Defense Matrix just does so much against Orisa. You know, one of my friends, and we do end up getting that pause. So maybe some issues coming through for the side of MMM. Maybe that's why they were just trying to run in as fast as they can. They're like, hey, let's get this fight done with so that we can actually get the pause to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you saw Elijah calling for it before, but since that there had already been a slight engagement, they let the fight play through. So once the fight was over, pause came in. But like I said, I really did like that Reaper pick there for DJ Ashtray, especially going into what Elijah is running on that Orisa. And I talked about it. The big hitbox means that Reaper finds a lot of value, gets a lot of self-healing. It just does a lot of damage as well, meaning you will have Death Blossoms ready almost maybe every other fight if you're playing it right.
Absolutely. It's going to be tough to get a Blossom off into the Orisa, just due to the Orisa having the Spinny Spear and the Javelin that can just stop you from using Death Blossom. But still, and then Suzu, Sound Bear. Oh my goodness, there's so many things that counter Death Blossom. Man, that is crazy. Because to me, it's one of the most satisfying ultimates to actually get off. It's so simple, but it's the fact that it's so simple. It means you have to use it very intelligently for it to get value.
I mean, hey, there's a lot of stuff now that stops almost every ultimate in the game, whether it be a Javelin, a Spinny Spear, a Suzu, a Beat, an Ice Wall, a Teleporter, almost anything. There's so much that could deny ultimates in this game. But with this pause coming in, it does give both these teams a time to really think, especially about that first team fight. They got a good glimpse of what each team was running here, but I mean, the advantage kind of goes over the MMM here since they're all back in the spawn. So if they... Okay, never mind everything I was just saying. Just got the word that the server was messed up, so we are restarting the map here. MMM, I mean, Shadow, do you think MMM is going to make any swaps here? And it looks like they've already decided to.
You know, it's still going to be tough regardless going into this Diva, because Diva also denies a lot of what Junker Queen's trying to do. Just Defense Matrix does a lot. Same thing with the Orisa, as I said before, you know, just Diva eats bullets. It's difficult to do anything about that. And having the Brig Juno means you're just going to have such a large amount of survivability on top of the Defense Matrix. It's just like, it's going to be tough to break through this break into this back line if you're MMM.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're MMM, you need to try to find something here. Using the jump pad to get to the back line might be one of the more interesting ways that I've ever seen that jump pad be used. Jacob, though, going to find some value here early, getting rid of Nyla. However, it's going to come at the cost of Ruby and probably Ready right there, as Spice-Tail's able to take care of them, but it's immediately traded back out. However, Elijah falling there might already mean this fight is all but over, but they might be able to just stall out the point long enough for those respawns to come back in.
I think this may end up just being a point cap for Tarfan unless MMM decides they want to walk in on it. We do see Elijah swapping to this Junker Queen as well. No ultimates really available just yet. That's what happens when you have one fight, and that's the point. We do see Ready swap over to this Moira as well, so I do like that for the Queen, getting the Moira Lucio going.
Yeah, and you see Pickles here trying to focus in on Anther in that backline. Kirsten also diving back there as well. The fade coming out from Ready, but Ruby somewhere off in the distance going to be able to find Spice Toast. Now burrowing into the ground, focusing on the DJ right there. Going to be able to find them some help from their Tracer teammate. And now Nyla actually finds Ruby right there. The DPS line down for MMM. Big Tarfan can now kind of play a little bit aggressively here, but they're going to quickly fall back.
I think they're going to be able to re-engage on this too because, there's just an easy pick right there to be had on that Moira.
And that's exactly what happens right there. Kirsten using that jet to get out of danger there for a moment. Piggles already with 2 this fight, looking for a third. Kirsten, though, going to take that 1 away there onto Elijah. And now, I mean, Big Tarfan might get the second point here.
It's looking like they're definitely going to cap this. And shout out to Nyla. That all happened because Nyla got that pick early on. That allowed their team to reset and go into this next fight. Now here comes the interesting part. Are they going to opt to actually try and cap this point, or are they going to back off and just let get this point?
I mean, they have the ultimates to play with here. They have 4. They've already used 1. The pulse bomb, though, from Spice Toe is going to deny a rally here. Now the bomb not going to come out from Kirsten, just going to give up the point. So it looks like you got your answer right there. They're just going to let MMM cap it here, and we'll go back to point 2.
Yeah, that's usually what ends up happening on this map. You get to the 3rd point, and there's such an insane advantage for the team that spawns on that side that it's just like, just give it up, go back to the previous point where we had sort of an even-ish spawn, and just go there. And we're going to see a lot of ultimates available for both sides, so it could go either way in this fight.
Yeah, and we have seen both these teams in the past not afraid to use all their ultimates to try to win a team fight here. It's kind of what I expect from both sides right now. But it's going to be the orbital beam here from Nyla to get everything going. You see what MMM does here. They just back off, let Big Tarfan try to get something going here. Now a huge anti. The rampage coming out from Elijah will lead to 2. The Death Blossom not going to matter there at all. MMM now finding everything they need here, and it looks like they're going to be able to tie up this map.
Great play there from MMM. We mentioned all the other stuff that counters Death Blossom earlier. We didn't consider the drill dash booping the Reaper away and causing that counter. So, add another thing to the list of things that counter Death Blossom. You do manage to hold on to the Coalescence if you're ready, which is going to be big time for this fight. That damage boost that Coalescence just got could be massive in this fight.
You do have bomb ready if you are Kirsten, so you do have a remeching tool here if you do lose it early, so that allows them to play maybe a little bit more aggressive here. And you see them trying just to kind of bait out MMM here, but now the engage from MMM going to try to force Kirsten back. Kirsten now going solo onto the point. Piggle is going to fall here by their counterpart on the other side. Bomb now out from Kirsten. The remeching tool going to be able to work here to get them back into this fight, but I mean, Tarfan started off so hot here. Now they might have to give up this point as well, but getting rid of Elijah, I mean, the door just reopened for Tarfan on this one here. The Coalescence, though, from Unready going to be able to get rid of Ashtray as Unready now focusing on healing a little bit. However, this fight here, it's just going back and forth.
No team can really get control of it, and we're just seeing people get so close to death and just not manage to get out.
Tarfan has the point capped up halfway, but 4 members of MMM on it almost immediately gets rid of that. Now MMM starting to cap up the point a little bit. Kirsten taken out of the mech, taken out of life almost in a blink of an eye right there. And MMM has their opening if they take it, and it looks like they're going to be able to do just that. Down goes everyone. DJ Ashtray, the only one left alive, going to burrow themselves away from the situation.
Yeah, and you got to shout out the comp swap, honestly. Ever since we've gotten the Moira Lucio and the Queen available to MMM, they've been taking full advantage of the fact that they can just run so fast and do all this damage. We are seeing Piggles swap onto this Pharah pick, though. First time we're seeing that today.
I do really like it because, I mean, there's really no one on the other side that can counter them out if they play far away and also in the sky. There's no Deadeye on the other side. Rampage, though, going to come out and land on the 3. Rally and Beam coming out here from T-Tar. Spicy Toes going to be able to stun one there, get the combo they are looking for. Pulse Bomb out from Jacob, not going to be able to find anyone there, even though they stuck on a Kirsten. Spicy Toes with 2, looking for a third one right there. Almost going to be able to find it, but it seems like eventually Elijah will just have to exit this fight one way or another, and it's going to be Piggles finding the last 2.
We are going to see Tarfan even this fight up. We do see DJ Ashtray being the only ultimate available right now. So this is going to be a relatively dry fight outside of the Venture ultimate coming out.
I mean, Unready's not that far away from a Coalescence, and I imagine these Queens are going to be able to build up Rampages pretty quickly here, so it might start off slow. So this is not the slow I was expecting it. It's starting off like a freight train at full speed right now, and Tarfan standing in the tracks. MMM comes in and just wipes them.
Yeah, only thing that got slowed right there was whoever got hit by that Cass's flashbang. That's about the only slow that happened in that fight. There's going to be a recontest, though. Oh, no, no, there's not. No, there isn't.
And DJ, because they tried to get the touch there, they didn't have the dash to get themselves out. Kirsten in a bad spot as well here. And I mean, Ruby with 3, the point not open yet, but they have to, if they cap this point, they win the map.
It's going to be tough for Tarfan to re-engage into this, too, just due to how far away they are right now. No, they should actually have plenty of time. Point just opened. Yeah, they're going to have plenty of time to recontest.
But I love what Elijah's doing right there. The Rampage comes out, hits on the 2. Kirsten being the high-value target there. Nyla, Piggles, first ones taken out. Spicy Toast will get one back. Elijah now. The Rampage comes out from Kirsten. Got to be able to find them right there. The Wrencher ult from DJ Ashtray finding one. The Deadeye, though, from Ruby looking for whatever they can. Are they going to be able to find anything here? No. It comes and goes, and DJ Ashtray just sends them right off the map right there. Going to be able to find Ant as well. Big Tarfan going to be able to make the center point the winner take all point.
Oh, and what a point for it to be as well. You're right in the dead center of the map. This is one of the toughest points to really get an edge on, I feel like, at least.
And I mean, ever since the first fight on this map where MMM was not running this Jungle Queen, they have kind of dominated this point. Tarfan has really struggled into it here. Look at the ultimates for MMM. They have every advantage in the world here. I don't know how Tarfan really gets through this.
It's going to have to be a hero play coming out from Piggles on this Tracer, I think.
And hey, they find it right there. No coalescence. Elijah, though, will find Ashtray. But look, Tarfan slowly backing up MMM here for the moment. You do see Jacob trying to come back in. DJ Ashtray going to burrow themselves back up through the ground right there. Going to emerge. Half the point already capped here for Tarfan. Jacob now backline, trying to do what they can just to stall out this point. Not going to be able to escape the combo from Piggles. Going to be able to find him beat in and Coalescence coming out here from MMM. Piggles just trying to find whatever they can in that backline. Ruby going to be able to get rid of Lucio for their side. Piggles again, still just trying to find anything. Elijah trying to do whatever they can. A huge knife there onto DJ Ashtray. And the point now starting to be capped by MMM as everyone for Tarfan on the low ground here. Someone needs to get up and get a touch here. The recall from Piggles, but you see Elijah just guarding that jump pad. You do see Spice Tails come back in to contest it here for a moment, but their counterpart on the other side going to be able to take him out. Kitsune Rush here from Nyla, just a hope and a prayer at this point, but Kirsten with 2, looking for a third, gets the axe swing there on the amp, but they're able to keep themselves alive and kicking. Kirsten with 3 this fight. DJ in here as well. DJ gonna be able to pick up Jacob. Rampage out from Elijah, will land on a Kirsten, but it might have been a little bit too much there. A little bit of an over-investment by them. Piggle's going to be able to find them here. Now Kirsten throws out their own Rampage, does find 2, but Ruby able to cleanse it themselves. Kirsten now taken out of the fight. Point 75% and counting the touch there from Jacob. Going to be immediately taken out there by Nyla. Ruby on the point. Going to be taken out by Piggles. No one going to be able to get back for MMM in time. And what a hell of a fight there by both sides. But Tarfan comes out on top.
Oh, man. Now, no team could really get a solid advantage for, like, that entire fight. It really came down to, I believe that was that Tarfan or MMM that was underneath the point there for a significant amount of time with just 3 of their players just managing to barely stay alive and continue to stall that fight out for just a little bit longer.
That was Tarfan. I thought at a point that they were kind of stuck down there because Elijah was guarding that jump pad like a hawk, essentially, not letting anyone get there. But it was a huge play by the Lucio just going to contest that forced Elijah to look away for one moment. You saw the rest of Tarfan get back to that point, but it was so scrappy back and forth. And finally, we talked about there a little bit before that final fight got started. Tarfan struggled on that center point ever since we saw that complete composition come out there from MMM, but just so back and forth. It could have gone either way.
Oh, I really thought MMM was going to take it when I saw Spicy Toast Ajax. I thought the moment that happened, MMM was going to take that point, but it ended up not mattering. That was when Tarfan hid underneath that high ground. The Spicy Toast had just Ajax, so I guess they all dropped in response to that. So that makes total sense, actually.
I missed an Ajax?
Yep, it definitely happened. Either that or the sound barrier just hit nobody. There's one of those two things happened.
We got confirmation it was an Ajax. I can't believe I missed that. They've had 2? How have I missed both? So Spicy Toast is 2 Ajaxes this series. I'm mad at myself that I missed both. Normally I have breakdowns, but I can't have a breakdown here. But I mean, big TTARfan600. Thank you, Headrammer. Now match point here, but I mean, going into this map, the biggest thing I wanted to see from MMM was could they compete with TTARfan here on a control-like map? Yeah, Clash is not control, but it is very much similar to it. And the answer is yes. They almost won that map. And now as we head into Saravasa, I think it's anyone's game. TTARfan won that one, but it was very, very close.
It could have gone either way. Just like one more knife pull land, one more kill with a pulse bomb, you know, anything could have turned that map in MMM's favor. And I see no reason why we wouldn't be seeing a map 5 here. Like, these two teams look very, very evenly matched outside of Oasis. We'll just mulligan that map, but everything else, it's looked incredibly close so far.
Yeah, Oasis, I think you really just have to look back at that map and say that was MMM's first map of the season. They needed to get into it a little bit here, and they've looked better ever since. But, I mean, we're not heading into Saravasa just yet, but if you are MMM at this point, I think you have to lock the Queen, because the Queen is giving TTARfan the most trouble so far, it seems.
Yeah, they've had some very good success running the Queen, and even the Queen Mirror. I feel like they've had good success in general. So I see no reason why they wouldn't continue to do that. Maybe they opt to go back to the Orisa like they were playing on King's Row if they're feeling spicy. But then you're kind of telling TTARfan that they can play that diva again, and it seems like the Queen doesn't have that happen in the same way. Most likely just because you can speed around and just go for some targets. Not completely get denied by that defense matrix.
Absolutely, but heading into a map like Saravasa and Flashpoint, I don't think you really want to have an Orisa. You want to play a little bit faster. I guess you could try to play something a little bit slower, a little bit bunkier. But I think the Junker Queen has been their best showing of the night so far. I think they need to stick with that. But as you said, maybe they want to try to come out on the Orisa one time and see how it works.
It's looking like they're wanting to play the Orisa. They got the Tracer Sojourn as well here. I always love the combination of Tracer and Sojourn. And it looks like TTARfan is going for the old Soldier 76. You know, the flank 76 plays. No, okay, we're gonna see the Tracer duel again. This Tracer duel has been excellent this entire series as well. I'd say Pickles has the advantage, but not by like a lot.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with that as well. Pickles has a slight advantage, but Jacob, there has been times where they have really carried their teams through fights, and I like what MMM's doing here. I mean, you saw TTARfan kind of looking through that window right there saying, okay, where are they? Where are they? But no, they went to the other side of the point. I like that. Ruby now getting up to this high ground. I like this as well. Really, no one can go up there and contest them unless DJ Astray wants to invest the drill dash to get up there.
And I mean, again, we're just seeing both of these teams kind of try and rotate, figure out what they want to do. Elijah getting that pick onto Spicy Toast.
Not the start you're looking for. DJ does find one, but oh, the Javelin going to be able to take them out of the sky right there. Kirsten trying to do what they can. Suzu invested onto them here, but the Javelin combo might be able to take them out. The knife gets stuck in them. Kirsten somehow being able to keep themselves up here will eventually fall. Point going to be capped here by MMM to get started, and Elijah, whew, a hot start for them.
Shout out Elijah with the 5K to start this map off. Maybe this is why they wanted to play that Orisa so bad. Bad enough that Kirsten's now mirroring the Orisa. So, you know, what else is new? Kirsten's been mirroring basically every tank, like you mentioned earlier in the series. Big advantage, though, for the side of MMM.
Yeah, especially because, I mean, Elijah's going to have their surge up here so much faster. I mean, already almost 80% Kirsten because of the swap, only at 20. And now if you're TTAR, you have to find some engagement here. That's a good way to start off. Getting Ruby off that high ground really does force them to put a lot more value into them there. But Elijah, I mean, they are pinpointing everyone on that team like it's darts on a dartboard. The Surge comes out, finds kill number 7 for them in a row, and finally gets a name in that kill feed. Same thing with Ruby. But the fight done and dusted. Same thing could be said for this point as well.
It is looking that way for sure, and out comes the Diva. Here it is. This is how you deny that that Orisa pick. You just play Diva, Brig, Defense Matrix. Perfect pick for the side of T-Tarfan.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand trying to mirror it the second time around, but now that you're making these swaps again, you have two members now kind of behind in ult charge, and Elijah and Kirsten kind of even because of it.
Definitely, for sure. And we are going to see the sound barrier, Kitsune Rush. There's a lot of things available here. That's a good javelin, though.
I want to see Elijah miss the javelin because it seems like they have been 100% so far on it here. But T-Tarfan, I mean, the pressure out from the Diva just allows them to get the point here first. Now you do see Elijah come in. The Pulse Bomb not going to be able to find anything but Piggles. Oh, no! That's a Pulse Bomb kill onto yourself. The Kitsune Rush coming out here from both sides. As both sides desperately need to win this one here. T-Tarfan might be a little bit more desperate, but they are able to get rid of Ant, who, I swear if that was another Ajax, that wasn't... But Kirsten finds Ruby. Elijah finds Spicy Toast, but the point not yet capped here. Ashtray gonna be able to find Jacob with the mech gone here. Ashtray, though, with two already looking for a third, but the point capped here by T-Tarfan.
It really just strong play there from Kirsten to really use the Kitsune Rush to their advantage and just clear out the back line of T-Tarfan early on into that fight. And you do see MMM used both of their support ultimates. They're going to have Terra Surge and Overclock available to them. And T-Tarfan might have an Overclock, might have a Rally as well in this next fight. So it's really close, I would say, which way this is about to go.
Yeah, and we talked about ultimates being on the side of MMM the last fight, but now it's kind of even out here a little bit, but MMM needs to engage on here. Ruby, gonna be able to find DJ Ashtray on the other side, and that is all lights green for that Overclock. Hill's getting traded out here, though. Kirsten will get rid of Ruby, immediately traded back out again, though, on to Spicy Toast. But, I mean, if you're T-Tarfan here, I think the name of the game is just stall out this point as long as you can. Kirsten, though, I mean, they had some heroics last point. Now looking to do it again here. Bomb coming out. Are they going to be able to go after Elijah? They get the crush kill! They get the crush kill!
Oh, you love to see stuff like that happen. This Diva just absolutely dominant from Kirsten. And there it is, Elijah opting to swap onto that Queen. This is the pick that they managed to get a lot of value with into the Diva on the last map, so I'm not surprised to see it come out again. But they're going to have to walk into Spicy Toast's Rally, and that's a tough first fight to walk in with a Junker Queen, have to deal with a Rally.
And the Overclock as well from DJ Ashtray here. It's going to be hard, but the Pulse Bomb from Jacob doesn't find the stick, and it would have been on the Spicy Toast, so that would have been a great way to start off the fight there. But now you're down one huge ultimate for MMM, and you're very far away from everything else, while T-Tarfan has built up a bank here. The Rally out, going to be able to charge into two right there, get the stuns. Now looking for some follow-up from their tank right there. Another stun out there onto Elijah, but yet nothing really coming from this here. The point not even capped up. You see Jacob trying to cap it here. Elijah, though, finally going to be able to draw first blood here as the fight still goes on. That high ground area right there. You see Kirsten doing a good job just trying to force everyone back, but eventually Spicy Toast has to fall off that high ground, going to lose their life because of it. Now MMM comes out on top, even with what we talked about being a huge ult advantage there for T-Tarfan.
And now how the turns have tabled, because you could see now MMM has 4 ults of their own. Elijah already getting to this Junker Queen ult very, very quickly for that matter. I imagine we're going to see dueling Kitsune rushes. Oh my goodness, I think the sound barrier is going to be the difference for MMM here.
I'm watching the sound barrier like a hawk here. I swear if it misses, nope, it will not miss this time around. Ant gets it off, but only goes on to 3 people. Tectonic Shot going to come out as well, not find a lot of value, but will lead to 1 kill after. However, look at the value from MMM after everything came out there for T-Tarfan. It's 4 down, and number 5 is going to be staggered out.
This is tough to watch. This is evil, but... it's what. Oh, that's actually kind of crazy that Ready just died right there. That's kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, it's horrible, honestly. If you're MMM, if you're a T-Tarfan, you now play very quickly. Yeah, and Ready can teleport themselves back there, but if they do that, that's one huge ability down for them.
Yeah, it's probably gonna result in a point flip or someone from the side of MMM dying when they don't need to.
And Ant, I thought that Ant might have been that person right there, but it's going to be Elijah who's just played up a little bit too far because of it. The point going to flip like you said, and MMM smartly just backing out of this one, not wanting to lose anyone else.
Yeah, great job by MMM of just retreating. You lose the one person, just get out. Don't give away any more ult charge. Right now, you've just got the Diva Bomb available for T-Tarfan. Don't let them get close to any other ultimates because you just need to win one fight here. If Jacob can land a big-time Pulse Bomb, it's going to give you like all the advantage in the world here.
And you do see MMM kind of splitting up here a little bit. Pickles, oh, going to be able to escape right there. Jacob does have that pulse bomb ready to go, potentially looking for it off here. They're going to be able to get it off. Pickles will take care of them. So a trade for a trade, an eye for an eye right there. Kirsten going to try to get out, throws their bomb out there, but will it even find anyone? No, but it's just going to be used as a remaking tool. So one huge ultimate gone here. Kirsten now focusing in on Elijah, but they want to get back up to that high ground where they think MMM is going to be. Instead, they go right down main. The shout, the beat, or the speed boost coming out there now, focusing in on Umretti, gonna be able to find them there. A huge early pick here for T-Tarfan as they look to try to put themselves on a map point.
Oh, this is probably going to go big time in T-Tarfan's favor. I mean, what can you say? Kirsten just doing it again. DJ Ashtray as well, hitting these nice rails to finish this point off, but big shout out to Kirsten there, staying alive, getting that bomb off, getting the pick onto Umretti. We're seeing Umretti swap to that Moira as well, probably for some survivability. And Elijah playing the Zarya, Jacob swapping over to the Reaper. We're going full counter comp right now to try and deal with this diva.
I mean, hey, backs are against the wall here for MMM. You look so strong coming into this map, especially after that first point, but you've kind of been stonewalled now. You need to make these kind of swaps here. You have ultimates, though. That's the thing. However, other side, yeah, ultimates are ready as well. You're already starting off with the Kitsune Rush here. Beat going to be responded there from the other side, but you're still looking for the first blood here. DJ Ashtray popping the overclock, focusing in on Ruby, who pops an overclock of their own, but Ant going to be able to get rid of them right there. Point open and ready to be captured here by anyone. It seems like MMM does have the slight advantage here at the moment, but Elijah getting kind of pressured out here. Ruby, though, putting in a lot of work for their team. The Orbital Ray not going to be able to, or going to be able to help Kirsten find Umretti, find Elijah, now looking to find the rest of MMM here. Kirsten in that backline finds Ant. Kirsten, they've already found 3. Make it 4. They get D. Actually, the bomb going to come out, but it should maybe result in a point cap here for them. All they have to do is get rid of Jacob. Kirsten 1 kill away from the ace here. Jacob wants to come out of that Wraith form. It's going to be Piggles find them, though, but cap here by T-Tarfan.
I mean, just big shout out to Spicy Toast in that last fight. That Orbital Ray ended up being huge. It was to me, it was the main reason that Kirsten managed to stay alive going into that Zarya of Elijah. Just didn't even have to worry about getting beamed down due to just the massive amount of healing they were receiving. And now Jacob has to try and get a Death Blossom off going into a Diva, which is going to be really tough.
And Elijah was playing with some fire right there, being that close to the edge with Piggles right there, but Piggles using that dash instead to get out. And I mean, if you're MMM, you need to get something here fast. Tectonic Shocks out from Piggles. Look at what that does to everyone on MMM. They're just playing away. Elijah, 1 bubble down, the second bubble down as well. They are out of the fight. Same thing for Ant Umretti following them. Piggles with 3 this fight, and honestly, MMM has to rush back.
It's going to be close whether MMM is going to get a touch or not. You really, if you're Elijah here, you cannot get this Grav eaten. The Grav, you got Death Blossom, you got Coalescence. You're probably going to have to pop all 3 of them just to win this fight.
Well, right now, you need to get a touch. You do get the touch right there, and you have to imagine Kirsten is just waiting for that grab. Coalescence is going to be the first thing used here by Umretti. Just try to keep up a lot of their team here. They will be able to find Piggles. The grab comes out. It is huge. It finds the remaining members of T-Tarfan, and all the members going to go down here. MMM going to be able to keep their map and series hopes alive.
And it only costs them the grab and the Coalescence, so that's your perfect scenario there if you're MMM. Next, you're going to probably have to use your Sound Barrier and your Blossom, and you're probably going to have to use all 3 of your other ultimates to win this next fight. Just due to the fact that T-Tarfan has Kitsune, they have Orbital Ray, they have Bomb, and they've got Overclock, and they're not far away from the Tectonic Shock as well.
Yeah, and we've seen these 2 teams in the past throw everything into a fight. Ruby try to draw first blood there, but not going to be able to find anything with their own Pulse Bomb now. A lot of the pressure is onto Ant and Jacob to try to find something with their ultimates here. Kitsune Rush, though, out from Nyla right now, trying to do what they can. Not going to be able to do anything just there. Pickles just burrowing into that back line. The Death Blossom with the beat comes out, not going to be able to find anyone. Orbital Ray to come in, trying to clean up the fight, clean up the map. Already 2 down. Now the overclock out here from DJ Ashtray, just trying to do what they can as well. Pickles, the bomb from Kirsten will seal the deal, blowing up MMM, and Big Tarfan600 keeps their perfect season alive by beating MMM 3-1.
Great fight though from MMM. Honestly, this was really close, and considering you're going against the team that won this tier last season, you got to be pretty happy with that performance if you're MMM. It's tough to have your first game come out and be against, one of the stronger, if not the strongest team in the tier right now. So, great showing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're MMM, you cannot feel bad about this game just because of like what you said. You're going up against the reigning champions, and you have to look back at the last couple maps in this series. They were incredibly close. You could argue that MMM should have won Throne of Anubis. They had a good start here on Surabasa, but just when the Diva came out, it seemed like they really struggled to get Kirsten off it, and that was really a lot of the reason why they found a lot of success in the other maps. They forced Kirsten off of characters like Diva, like Queen, all over to something else where we even mentioned it. It seemed like they were trying to mirror them the most, but they stuck to their guns on this final map, stuck with the Diva, and man, did it work out for them. Also, give Kirsten a lot of credit. That final point on Throne of Anubis, they found 3 picks in a fight that I thought was all but over. They kept that second point alive by themselves. Getting the crush kill there on to Elijah was huge for them, capping that point and putting themselves on to map point there. It was just insane to watch.
Great performance overall from both teams. I mean, like you said, even through the Ajaxes, Big Tarfan was still able to take these 3 maps, and so you love to see it.
Even through the 3 Ajaxes we had this series. I mean, at least we recognize the last one, but this series had probably the most ultimates that I've seen in a series just find nothing. We could go back to King's Row, where it seemed like only 1 out of every 4 Blizzards actually found value there. We had 3 Ajaxes. There were a lot of ultimates that kind of were just questionable with their usage, but the ultimates that did find value, man, did they find all the value in the world for their teams there. And you talked about a lot there, especially on the final map. The Orbital Rays coming out from the Juno on the side of Tarfan, able to carry them through fights, especially on that final point.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Can't say any more than that. The support ults in general were pretty well used from both sides, I'll say, because the coalescences coming out from Umredi were helping their team confirm those fights. You got to remember that extra 15 damage a second that comes out from coalescence now can actually do a good bit. So you got to remember Moira in the back of your mind now is probably going to be a more consistent pick.
I mean, coalescence does more damage. Her grasp does more damage. Don't know why we needed that, but hey, it's here. So Moira is going to be a constant presence now. So that's going to be really interesting to see. But that was something we came into the series talking about, that the patch that happened Tuesday. I think we're starting to slowly see now, especially that it's been out for 72 hours, teams work with it here and have a good understanding of what works well with it and what doesn't work well with it. But the one thing just taking away from this series here tonight was the variety in comps and characters that we saw get played here tonight. It was really refreshing to see that.
Yeah, we saw some Ram, we saw some Orisa, we saw some Diva, we saw some Zarya, we saw some Winston as well. Don't forget on map 1 that happened. So, a good bit of the roster. Still no Reinhardt though, but I'm sure EU will manage to play some Reinhardt.
Yeah, hey, good segue there. Speaking of EU, tomorrow is Saturday, and that means week 2 of Saturday Night Overwatch. I believe it's going to be a little bit earlier this week on the EU side and a little bit later on the NA side. So you are not going to want to miss that tomorrow. We'll have the whole desk there to talk about all the changes and what we have seen so far. But hey, Shadow, it was a pleasure to have you casting with me here tonight. It was a great series, one that I think both me and you thought could have gone the distance, but that will do it for us here tonight at the Console Gaming League. Make sure you tune back in tomorrow for both the Saturday Night Overwatch matches, because you are not going to want to miss them. But until then, we will see you tomorrow and hope you have a great night.